The ECHL's commissioner talks about the decision to cancel the season. Meanwhile, some players will be able to take advantage of financial relief. Plus, a few more awards, and some hockey news too. The season-ending episode of ECHL Week starts now. Hi, welcome to ECHL Week. I'm Barry Schickling. The 32nd season of the ECHL has come to an end, the most unusual season in the league's history. And it'll be a long summer before hockey gets played again. We recently talked with ECHL Commissioner Ryan Creelan, and we got his take on a number of issues the league is dealing with as the pandemic plods its way through North America. We started by asking him about the mid-March decision to terminate the season prematurely.
From a hockey standpoint, an emotional standpoint, it feels like the wrong decision. You played all year, you're so close to the playoffs. You certainly don't want to see a season disappear. But when you start looking at the facts and the reality of it all, you start to realize it's the right decision. It's a hard decision. It's an emotional decision. But each passing day here or afterwards, I think, has proven it was the right decision.
Creelan talked about the challenge the league faces in the future as a result of the nature of the minor league hockey business.
Our business, our sport, our model is predicated on fans and being out in the community and shaking hands and being with people. And this virus has taken that away. And so if we can't do that, that changes our whole dynamic. This wasn't a natural disaster where we had to pause, but we can rebuild and get back together once we rebuild. This is a different type of disaster where we can't get, there was nothing torn down, but we can't get back together. So we need to find a way to overcome that so that we can return to normalcy.
Fans are always interested about future growth, and although there's plenty going on elsewhere in the league right now, talks about possible expansion in the future continue.
This slows down the velocity of some of those opportunities, but I will tell you, it hasn't stopped it. Those conversations are still happening, and I still think there's a lot of really good opportunities. Now, again, some of those things are paused by the fact that we can't get together or travel to different locations, but the conversations are still happening, and there's an opportunity for our league and hockey to grow.
Our discussion with the commissioner touched on numerous topics. Listen to it all on the ECHL Week Speak podcast, available on SoundCloud. News from around the league is next on ECHL Week.
Why should young people care about the spread of coronavirus? Well, we know that people with underlying medical conditions over the age of 60 are at highest risk, but they've got to get it from somebody.
So we're asking everyone to be selfless for others so that we can protect those who are most susceptible.
Not going to bars, not going to restaurants. It all just means physical separation so that you have a space between you and others.
For more information on how you can social distance, please go to coronavirus.gov.
This is Colin Shutt for the Idaho Steelheads, and this is ECHL Week.
And you're watching ECHL Week.
You're watching ECHL Week.
You're watching ECHL Week.
You're watching ECHL Week.
And you're watching ECHL Week.
You're watching ECHL Week.
And you're watching ECHL Week.
You're watching ECHL Week. You're watching ECHL Week.
You're watching ECHL Week.
You're watching ECHL Week.
Regardez ECHL Week. You're watching the number one source for ECHL news, ECHL Week.
Moi, olen Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen ja pelaan Sisinen Cyclonesissa. Sinä katsot ECHL-viikkoa.
There has been some activity in terms of hockey-related business. We start our news block with a story about a Mountain Division team naming a new head coach. The first really big news about next season has come out of Kansas City, where the Mavericks announced they have hired Tad O'Had to be their new head coach and director of hockey operations. O'Had spent the last 7 seasons behind the bench with the Florida Everblades, 3 as an assistant coach, and the last 4 as associate head coach.
All players, from a player advancement and development standpoint, is we're going to have a 360 model. And that model means on and off the ice. So not only from on-ice skill development, on-ice positional skill development, off-ice strength and conditioning, video, but also creating the culture. And so the balance is this, is that my job is to honor our players. Cole Schultz and I, our job is to honor the players by giving them the tools and working with them to advance their careers and make them the best player possible.
O'Had has coached in over 500 regular season ECHL games and 67 more in the Kelly Cup playoffs. During his stay in Southwest Florida, the Everblades won an ECHL regular season championship, an Eastern Conference playoff crown, 2 South Division titles, and fashioned a .699 winning percentage.
We'll do whatever we can to help these players get better. And that's going to come in a variety of ways, and it's going to come in a lot of difficult conversations. Honesty is going to be key. I'm going to talk with the players, and it's very simple. We can tell them what they need to hear, what they want to hear, or what they'd like to hear. At the end of the day, we've got to embrace the difficult conversations, and at the end of the day, we're going to put the best team on the ice that's going to give us the best advantage to win every night.
O'Had is from Yakima, Washington, and played collegiately at Connecticut College, an NCAA Division III school. He's also founded both a training facility and a recruiting and exposure service for college-bound players.
This is a franchise that has a tradition of being competitive, and we haven't necessarily achieved that the last couple of years. And I know that last year was a disappointment to a lot of people as far as on the ice goes. And so what I wanted to accomplish was to find somebody that could hit the ground running.
In addition, the Mavericks announced that Cole Schultz, who finished last season as the team's interim head coach, will return next season as an assistant to O'Had.
Hi, I'm Andrew Chernachan of the South Carolina Stingrays, and you're watching ECHL Week.
The only ECHL coach the Allen Americans have had, Steve Martinson, is the recipient of the 2019-20 General Manager of the Year award. Martinson, who has coached the Americans for their 6 seasons in the league, led his team to a 40-14-8 record this past season, a 32-point improvement from the previous year. He was also one of the coaches for the 2020 ECHL All-Star Classic. The man who ranks number 5 all-time in league coaching victories and is tied for 5th in career games coached is leading his 4th ECHL team. In addition to guiding the Americans to consecutive Kelly Cup championships in 2015 and 16, Martinson, who appeared in 49 NHL games as a player, has also coached in 3 defunct minor leagues in which he won a total of 8 titles. The award is determined by a vote of ECHL coaches. The Worcester Railers have made some management changes. Stephanie Ramey has been named as team president, and former president Mike Myers is now the chief operating officer. Ramey joins the Railers after a stint as executive director of Discover Central Massachusetts, a group which coordinated marketing campaigns to promote that region. She'll oversee all sales, marketing, and financial reporting for the team. As the new COO of the club, Myers will be responsible for all aspects of hockey operations, ticket sales, and game day operations, and he'll oversee the Railers HC Foundation, which has donated over $1 million to local community organizations. During Myers' time as president, the team won the 2018-19 ECHL Community Service Award and finished in the top 3 in the league in corporate sales revenues in each of the last 3 seasons. Referee Andrew Bruggeman is the 2020 recipient of the Ryan Birmingham Award, given to an on-ice official for his contributions and dedication to the league officiating staff. The award is determined by a vote of on-ice officials. This past season was Bruggeman's 4th as an ECHL referee and 3rd in the American Hockey League. Among his recent notable assignments, the 2020 ECHL All-Star Classic, the 2019 Kelly Cup Finals, and the 2019 World Junior Championships. He's also worked championship series in both the United States Hockey League and the Southern Professional Hockey League. The award is made in honor of Birmingham, who was killed in a 2007 car accident a month after finishing his first season as a full-time ECHL linesman. And we now know the opponents for the Toledo Walleyes 2 Outdoor Winterfest games. Kalamazoo will visit 5th Third Field on Saturday, December 26th, and the Indy Fuel will travel to Northwestern Ohio on New Year's Eve. These will be the third and fourth outdoor games in the ECHL's history. The Walleye hosted the first two in late 2014 and early 2015. Toledo is looking for its first victory in these events. Players get some help. Straight ahead on ECHL Week.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique. And your mother. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
I am Derek Nesbitt of the Atlanta Gladiators. You can tweet me at Derek_Nesbitt.
It's no secret that ECHL players are not among the wealthiest of pro athletes. The average ECHL player makes somewhere in the neighborhood of about $700 a week. So when the season ended prematurely, players missed a few weeks' pay, and it put a lot of them in a pretty dicey financial situation. However, the ECHL and the Professional Hockey Players Association worked together to form a Players Relief Fund in an attempt to give some assistance to those who need it. Here's PHPA Executive Director Larry Landon talking about the genesis of that fund.
We would typically have an annual meeting of player reps in June that was scheduled for the middle of June in Orlando. By canceling that, we saved upwards of $200,000. So the right thing to do was take the $200,000 and create a fund. When I brought that up to Ryan, he embraced it, liked it, wanted to get teams involved in it and others, and that's how it came to be.
The ECHL communities really come together to try and help our players because normally they work regular summer jobs, and a lot of those jobs right now, especially hockey camps, things of that nature, aren't available. And again, we'll take it on a case-by-case basis, but the goal is to help those most in need.
Feedback from players about the fund has been positive. Here's PHPA Executive Committee member Josh Holmstrom.
Everybody was immediately, their first thoughts were just pretty thankful and very appreciative that there was being a fund set up for the players, and that there might be able to be some funds coming in for some of those lost wages. I think most guys were just on board that if we could get something to everybody in some sort of way, that it would be beneficial for all.
I've been around for a while, so I definitely see the value in our fans and how much they do for us, where maybe some guys that are a little bit younger may take it for granted, but after seeing everything that the fans have done, stepping up and trying to help us out, I think everyone from a first-year player to somebody that's got over 10 years, they're going to see the fans in a different way, almost like a family, and they're helping us out the best that they can, and it's definitely appreciated.
We love to play the game so much because of the fans, right? When we go into those buildings and they're sold out, whether you're home or away, that's what makes the game so much fun. So to see our fans continuing to try to give back is pretty incredible.
Paul Bissonette, host of the popular Spittin' Chicklets podcast, who played 100 games with the Wheeling Nailers and over 200 games in the NHL, was happy to lend his support to the Players Relief Fund.
I believe it was one of the first leagues in North America to just, cancel the season, and I was like, oh geez, like that's, that was quick and unfortunate, but probably the right call given, what's happened now. And then I come to find out that the players weren't going to get paid their last 3 weeks salary, and given I know the circumstances some of these organizations at that level go through, it wasn't an issue of like shaming anyone. It's just like some of them, they may not even be able to continue operations. So I figured, maybe, there's something our podcast could do to help get these players paid, because when I played with some of these guys, I know what they were making, and it's not a lot of money. I just figured because it was the hockey community and it was something that popped out, that I would see if I can execute a plan in order to help get those guys paid their full salaries for the season.
Paul Bissonnette trying to help out, like he doesn't have to do that, but for him to try to give back to a league that he obviously cares about is tremendous.
It's a grind to get from the ECHL to the NHL, and so he knows that guys will do anything and everything they can, and if it means living paycheck to paycheck or barely making ends meet, that guys are going to try to do everything they can to make it to the highest level.
So everybody's putting their hands in and helping out, and it's really great to see, because I think that the minor leagues are special for their own way. It helps grow the games in these cities where maybe hockey is not traditional, and it grows the game, which is going to be beneficial to all of us who love it. And I mean, look at the Alex Burrows and the 700 or 800 other guys who have clawed their way all the way up. And I would say there's a decent portion of those guys who weren't on NHL contracts. Because of the ECHL, they were able to continue to live out their dream and eventually play at the NHL level and make people happy there.
That brings us to the end of this show and of Season 8 of ECHL Week. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media channels. Who knows what's going to be going on this summer, but whatever it is, if it has an effect on the ECHL, you'll be able to keep track of it by looking at our social sites. Take care, stay safe, have a great summer.